Hello and welcome to another SkaredCast Bad Report. Today, over this ruined battlefield, the Astra Militarum are attacked by the Drukhari. Let's begin. Okay, so welcome to the battle report. It's an 8th edition Maelstrom of War. We have an objective in this rubble. We have an objective in the open here. We have three main objectives kind of like all around the center point. We've got one objective in the crossroads back here and one by this administratum building. It is a vanguard assault, so it's the pointy deployments, hammer and anvil. And I got to choose my deployment side, so I picked this side, which has the objectives a little closer, and forced him to take that side over here. So he's going to start deploying, and we're going to alternate deployments one at a time until the armies are ready for battle. So this is the Drukhari, 2,000 points. We've got a battalion detachment. Leading the detachment is an Archon with a husk blade and his shadow field. We also have a succubus with an archite glaive and a splinter pistol. In the elite slot, we have 5 trueborn with 4 blasters and 5 sneaky mandrakes going to be hiding in the shadows. In the troop slots, we've gone for 4 troops. We've got 9 witches with gauntlets and an agonizer. We've got 9 Cabalite warriors with a blaster and a saberite. We've got 10 Cabalite warriors with a lance, a blaster, and a saberite. And we've got 10 racks with 3 liquefire guns. In the fast attack slot, we have 5 Scourge with 4 heat lances. I'm probably going to switch them out for lances as I get my modeling done. And then we're going for heavy support. We have 2 triple lance Ravagers. I think Ravagers are going to be very stock standard in a Drukhari army. As a flying wing, we've got 2 Razor Wings, each with 2 lances. One of them has a splinter cannon, and they have their Razor Wing missiles. And dedicated transports, 1 Witch Raider, 1 Cabal Raider, and 1 Coven Raider, and a Cabal Venom as well. All in all, it's 2,000 points of Drukhari. Let me know what you think down below. If you want to see the list written out, check the link. Okay, so this is 2,000 points of Astra Militarum, and Kevin is here. We're playing at Sir Games Lot in Barrie, Ontario, Canada. Make sure you check the links down below. So, Kevin.
Hey guys.
What did you bring today? Because you brought a big baddie.
Yeah, we can start out with that guy. That is a Shadow Sword. He is equipped Wissywig, which gives him 3 twin bolters and the 2 las cannons.
Perfect.
That is its own super heavy detachment. As well as that, I brought in a heavy support detachment. The name of it is escaping me.
Vanguard, I think it is, or something like that?
Yeah, something like that. It's being led by Pask and a Demolisher with twin Meltas and a las cannon. It also includes the Manticore with a hull heavy flamer, a group of 2 Hydras with hull heavy bolters, and my 2 heavy support heavy weapon squads. One is equipped with 2 heavy bolters and an autocannon, and the other one is the opposite with 2 autocannons and a heavy bolter. In addition to that, I brought in an elite detachment featuring 2 squads of veterans. Each one has a las cannon. There's one with 3 plasma guns and one with 3 flamers and a heavy flamer to just roast all of these dark Eldar, Drukhari.
I like it. I like where your head's at.
Yeah. And a squad of 3 Bulgrins with the slab shields and brute mauls. Leading that force, we have a Primaris Psyker and a company commander with a plasma pistol.
Very cool.
And those guys will all be riding around in 3 Chimeras. Each one has the 2 las gun arrays, the multi-laser, and a hull heavy flamer.
Okay, so that's 1,996 points or something like that?
Yes, it is.
Okie dokie. And let's move on to the battle. Okay, so we have finished our deployment. Now, turn 1, we only get 1 Maelstrom card. And then after turn 1, it's for each objective that you control that you get Maelstrom points. So it's going to get bloody pretty quickly. Now, I had 11 drops, and Kevin had 9 drops. So he did finish deploying first. And as you can see, he's put his defensive line, Shadow Sword in the middle, Chimeras, Hydras, essentially daring me to come forward into the killing zone. While I put the Racks, Razor Wings, Ravagers, trying to keep out of line of sight as much as possible, and then having some infantry holding the line here. So, I am going to try and seize the initiative. Now, of course, with a command point, you can reroll this dice as it is in game, but do I need it? Kevin does not want me to seize.
No. But it's fine if you won't.
That's what he says. Okay, do the Drukhari. Take the bacon. No.
Use the command. Waste the command.
I'm going to re-roll this dice.
Your point to waste.
It's a 30% chance. Do the Drukhari. Take the bacon. What up? Oh, it's another 5. Made him sweat. So we're moving on to Astra Militarum, turn 1. Let the guns begin. Okay, so as we move after turn 1, my Raider full of witches did die, but it didn't explode. 1 witch did die, and my Razorwing did take 6 wounds from the Hydras. So now we're in the middle of Dark Eldar movement, turn 1, and I've kind of moved up. I've been ordered to capture objective 4 with Maelstrom, so I'm going to be getting that with the witches. And right now I'm gearing up to try and do as much damage and shooting against the Imperial Guard line, but we shall see how this happens. Even the Scourge have come in to do some damage on the Hydras with their Heat Lances, although I'm probably going to be giving them Dark Lances in the future. Okay, let's see how this continues on to the next end of the turn. Wish me luck.
He's hurt.
Okay, so Dark Eldar turn 1. I opened up almost everything into Pask, and he was smoked, and I got him down to 4 wounds remaining, which was tough, and I failed a reroll on one of my lances, and I rolled a 1, re-rolled the damage, and rolled another 1, so he could have been dead. Over here, the Heat Lances put 5 wounds, sorry, on this one Hydra. So hopefully they survive. Oh wait, they're going to try and charge now, actually.
Okay.
And then we have 2 wounds from the Mandrakes on this Chimera here. Well, I did succeed in taking objective 4. So let's see how the Dark Eldar fare as the game continues. Okay, so Astra Militarum turn 2. Things are getting heated. The Bulgrins charged in to my witches, did 7 wounds, and I passed 6 invulnerable saves. I had 1 venom here, and it took all this squad, basically, all the plasmas, the demolisher, the chimeras that could shoot at it, essentially saving the Trueborn from a horrible death. So the venom stayed true. This Ravager has taken 7 damage, while the Raider that my Archon was in got Volcano Cannon to death. It was 4d6 damage. That was pretty brutal. Now, over here, the Scourge did succeed to charge. What happened here is I've pinned him in place because tanks can't go through walls and you can't go through units, so he can't fall back from here. So I've pinned him in place. I put a wound on him, but now because my guys can fly, they can fly out and potentially shoot something. So that's going to be very interesting to see how it continues. This Ravager Razorwing has taken 4 wounds. This one has taken 6 wounds, so he's still good. This Ravager's still fine. My Trueborn are okay. My Archon's still fine. We've got all the infantry are out. The commander is out here. But Pask, who's the warlord, is sitting there with 4 wounds left. Okay, let's move on to Dark Eldar. Drukhari, turn 2, as things get heated. And I have, how many points do you get this turn?
I didn't actually score any.
You didn't score any points.
4 and 6 I don't hold yet.
And those are the ones. He's supposed to hold 4 and 6. And there's only 1 model in range over there, and my Razorwing is there. And then this one I hold because I've got more models than he does. So starting my turn, he keeps his 3 points, and I did pass my morale. So he's trying to do psychological warfare to me. And I do have 1, 2, and 3 points, so I'm going to be getting 3 objectives. Okay, Drukhari, turn 2 was a very eventful turn, so let's get started. The Rex got out and moved through past the Chimera. Then they charged 12 inches to get within 3 inches of this objective and killed the astropath, and then secured objective 2 with a bunch of bodies. This disintegrated cannon took the last 2 wounds off of Pask, giving me Warlord kill after the Blasterborn did a couple more wounds. This Ravager, I tried to charge 3 different units and put it so that I could contact all of them to force him to fall back, but he rolled 3 inches and was only able to get into the Flamers. But the Ravager soaked up the Flamers so my Archon and Cablites could charge in and take objective 6.
Also
Meantime,
killed a couple plasma gunners on
that's
the
right. They plasma gunners did die on Overwatch because he tried to overcharge to put extra wounds on that Ravager. My Flyers flew up. I did kill both Hydras with a combination of the Fly shooting and the Scourge that flew out of combat. And they can't charge this round, but they did help take the last wounds off of that Hydra, which is very important. In combat, I did kill 1 more of the Bullgrins after the pistols in combat shot a wound off of the Bullgrins, and he's got 2 wounds left, and now he's surrounded, so he can't actually leave combat there. Okay, so we're moving on to Astra Militarum, turn 3, and I do get all 3 of my cards this turn, bring my total up to 4 points plus Warlord against First Blood for the Astra Militarum. He does have 4 cards in play though. One of them is Ignore Morale, and I don't have my morale boosting abilities anymore. Area Denial is to try and get units away from the center of the board, and he does have to try and take objective 4 and 6 as well, which are hotly contested at the moment. Okay. The Vulcan cannon is still fine. Manticore still has 2 rockets. Let's see what happens after this. Okay, turn 3 for the Astra Militarum. What an intense turn. We had the Shadow Sword shoot a Raider that's past its invulnerable save, only to charge into the Rex. The Rex then used their consolidation because they were strung out to kind of pull in a bunch of guys into combat, which denied the area denial. I finally killed the last Bullgrin, and I'm pushing in with my witches now into the Flamers that are tied in combat. My Archon passed the Shadowfield save, but I did lose the Ravager and his entire unit. And then I only lost 1 Scourge with a bad round of shooting from the heavy bolters. While the autocannons here and the Manticore shot at the Rex, but didn't do much damage. And the autocannons and heavy bolters had to finish off this Raider because he was trying to kill everything within 6 inches here. Wow, what an intense turn. After all that, he only got 1 point for the Maelstrom, and he's probably going to want to get rid of Psychological Warfare because next turn, starting turn 4, Dark Eldar don't take any morale tests. They automatically pass all morale. So he's going to get rid of Psychological Warfare unless he can hope to kill a few things on the 3rd turn here in combat or from Overwatch. And I lost objective 6. He captured that, but I do have 1 over there, 4, and 3. So I do get an additional 3 objectives to go on with. Okay, on to Drukhari. Turn 3. Okay, so we have Drukhari. Turn 3.
Oh, these guys.
All right, sorry. Aha!
One of them flees.
One of them runs away. A heavy bolter just ran away. Ah! Or the autocannon. No, the heavy bolter. Okay, so what I've done here, I strung out my mandrakes so they hold both of these objectives. So then I could run out my witches into the mess in there. This Ravager still stayed back. My Trueborn moved into the ruin. Combined shooting for from the Ravager and Trueborn killed this Chimera. And then Trueborn charged into this unit of Guardsmen. And they have successfully kind of locked them in combat there. And then we have the witches. The Archon charged into the Flamers after the Scourge failed a 10-inch charge, trying to prevent the Flamers from hitting, of course. And then he took 3 wounds through his shadow field, but he very bravely charged in, and then the witches came in and murdered everybody, and now I've consolidated into his commander here. And now they fell back so I could shoot the Shadow Sword, and I got both my Razor Wings and the Heat Lancers to shoot in, and it has 16 wounds left, down from 26. Okay, so we're moving on to turn 4. It's definitely getting intense. I did get Kingslayer, because I have killed Pask. So that is a D3 for me, in terms of points. So that's 1 point. Nothing crazy. And then I did take no prisoners, so I did kill a unit. And I got this new one, which is Priority Orders, which means your commander, you get to draw a bonus objective, and then your commander has to do it. So I grabbed Supremacy. I only have 1 Warlord, which means that my Warlord can't hold 3 objectives, so I'm just going to throw this one away. And then hope for a better round next turn. Okay, we're moving on to Astra Militarum turn 4. Let's see what we can do as the game is entering its final stages. From then on it is. Okay, Astra Militarum turn 4. The Shadow Sword did kill the Ravager, blew it up. These guys were unable to get out of combat because if your model cannot physically move through models, so you can't move people's bases, which meant I tied him up in combat there. I did win the roll-off to tie his commander up in combat with my witches, because he's infantry. So he was unable to move his commander out and shoot my witches, which meant the Racks took the brunt of the shooting, and there's only 3 of them remaining. But they are immune to morale, so they're fine now, while that Razorwing took another wound. So we're moving... Oh, and then... I think that's it. Yeah. And we're moving on to turn 4 for the Drukhari. And Astra Militarum have not gotten any objectives again.
We've gotten 1.
Well, yeah. One more?
One.
No. So that's still at 2 points. I definitely are winning on the Maelstrom. Am winning, but I only get, I believe I might get 3. If these guys are within 3 here.
Not quite at the center.
So I just get the 2 objective cards there. We're moving on to Drukhari turn 4. I'm going to try to take out the Shadow Sword. We'll see what we can do there.
Got the big dice.
Okay, so I have brought the Shadow Sword down to its final wound with my Succubus doing 2 wounds with her Archite Glaive. On a 6, he explodes, and everything within 2d6 inches takes d6 mortal wounds. Oh, so close. And he's already used his command point reroll to try and do some damage on the Overwatch, so he cannot use it to reroll this dice. Okay, end of the Drukhari, turn 4. We had these guys fall back from the combat so I could shoot as much as I could with the Shadow Sword. So both Razor Wings that flew this way shot in. I got it down to 2 wounds remaining from shooting. The Mandrakes even got 1 mortal wound on it as well. And just shot a lot of everything I could. And then the Witches charged in and took the last wound off the Shadow Sword and then consolidated into this Chimera, which did give me Big Game Hunter for D3 victory points because I killed a unit with 20 more wounds characteristics, and I did advance, getting all my units outside of my deployment zone. So that's an entire sweep of the battlefield. So we're going to call it there. 4 turns in. So tell me, what was the good, the bad, and the ugly of the game?
Well, the bad for me was all of those pile-in moves where you were engaging multiple units, especially engaging all my flamers, heavy flamers, because those would have just torn up your infantry. Couple early on whiffs, and the couple times where I rolled like 5-6 dice with the volcano cannon and only ended up with like 1 hit, and then you passed your save. So that Baneblade style, it's definitely very different. I love not having the arcs and stuff on it. Yeah, oh yeah.
You know, being able to just shoot whatever you want. And I was the most surprised about my Scourge, because I thought they were completely dead. But making that charge in the back here really saved them, because then they were able to come out and do some damage. Locking that tank in combat, you know, with now movement being a lot more tactical, especially with tanks. But make sure you stay tuned for the tactical corner, where I talk about the army lists, I talk about the mission. You know, yeah, the Maelstrom cards weren't exactly favorable, but in terms of tactics, I feel like, you know, bunching all those, like, all the Imperial Guard kind of bunched up in this corner here, and I was able to just kind of use, like, good charges and things to slowly overwhelm them. And then with good lance and blaster fire taking down the tanks. slowly but surely. Well, let us know what you think down below. Make sure you check out Sir Games a Lot in Barrie, Ontario, Canada, and stay tuned for the Tactical Corner, where I go over the different tactics and things used this game. After all, this is Skari, your grateful host, signing off till the next Battle Report. And if you'd like to support the channel, consider supporting on Patreon. It helps me create more content like this every single week. Bye.